welcome back to the Overthinkers. I'm Nimbus. I'm with the homie LD Lights once again.
Howdy, y'all.
We're just jumping right into it. It's the year of the movies. The cinema year has started, and it has started off strong. I have been pretty hyped, honestly. There's been, I could go over the list right now. You know, the Dungeons and Dragons movie dropped. We talked about Ant-Man a little bit before. We got BlueBeetle dropping.
Yup.
We got multiverse, Spider-Verse shit dropping.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
We got Guardians of the Galaxy dropping. We got Deadpool dropping next year.
Yeah.
They announced Sonic 3 for next year.
Mm-hmm. Is that still getting a show?
They already dropped the first season of, what was it? Sonic Prime on Netflix. And they were talking about making a Sonic Season 2 for that. And I don't know when that's coming out. But yeah, no, it's been popping off. I even saw something about like there's a new Power Rangers movie coming out.
Word?
Too. Like everything's popping off. And we got Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 dropping, I think literally next week. And Demon Slayer Season 3, I think it is Season 3, right?
I think
dropping in the next couple weeks. I think by the end of the month we'll have that rolling as well. So spring anime is popping. The only thing that's we can get into later is Marvel. It's looking like it's kind of not looking like it's gonna be doing too much this year. But we did get a Secret Wars trailer with my man Nick Fury. Yeah, I didn't tell you about this. We got a Secret Invasion trailer for Disney Plus. That was the one thing. My only gripe is it's a Disney Plus show.
It's a show?
It's a show. Which I don't understand how you even fathom making Secret Invasion a show. Like that should have been just straight up a movie. You're going to make the Marvels a movie, but you're not going to make Secret Invasion a movie. I was mind blown that it's a show. And there were people in the comment section for the trailer too that were like, this is a movie, right? Like this. Yeah. There's no way this is a show.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was going to be a movie too.
That could be a Lord of the Rings length.
Samuel L. Jackson, he was swagging through the whole trailer.
Of course
man.
he was.
The monologue over it too, with him talking about like, damn, I gotta fight another one, my niggas. Like, it's nice. It's crazy. And honestly, it's the only Disney Plus show I'm actually kind of excited for. The rest I was like interested in. I was like, they might be able to do something with it if they decide to. But
as soon as I started thinking about wanting to watch Loki, they're like, yeah, we're not sure if we're gonna bring back season 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's officially canceled or not.
Exactly.
I did see something about that, but it might be actually. So yeah. So really, the movies are kind of just taking over, other than Marvel. I really wanted to go back.
Such an inverse of the last couple years.
I think it's about time though. Marvel's oversaturated. Like
that's what happened. They did it to themselves.
Yeah, it's like what T-Pain was talking about a couple years ago, where he was in an interview like, yeah, I needed to just leave the spotlight. I needed to stop doing music. I needed to just stop being in people's faces because like I was in people's faces for like 5-6 years straight. Like people were sick of me. So yeah, with the movie side, like to go back to BlueBeetle and stuff, like that, like I saw a little bit of mixed commentary in the comments about it, but just because of the visual effects.
Oh my god!
And honestly, I really like the visual effects. I'm gonna have to show you.
I saw an image today of Ted Kord's outfit being a snippet, and I was like, "Oh, is there another one of the Injustice games?" Because it didn't look bad. Because the Injustice games look good, but then today I realized that it was probably that, but it still looks good though. Because that looked fucking good.
It looks really
good.
Put
that shit in 4K.
The only thing I can say that looks kind of weird is what they do with like BlueBeetle's wings. That's the only thing I can say.
I figured it was going to be something with the transfer on of the suit or something.
The transfer on is actually really good. Like they show you in the trailer the first like melding of them when the Scarab actually melds to them, and it looked really clean. It was like a symbiote kind of looking thing, but like more techy.
Good.
It was really good. I didn't see any hate about that either. Like people love that. And the only thing I could really say is like the wings, like because they're like see through, but they made them look more like waterish. It they tried to do a little too much with the wings, I think. But like,
they should have just been like the translucent blue.
Yeah, I think they tried to do like the translucent and try to make it like motion and stuff.
Yeah,
so it's because he uses it like as a shield, and that's where I was like, it looks kind of weird in some scenes with the wings where he tries to morph them into different things. But other than that, it looked really great because then he like, there's another scene where he's like, I'm gonna try this, and he morphs pretty much a Final Fantasy Buster Blade, puts his arm together, makes the Buster Blade, hits like a pose. Shit's hype. It's pretty hype.
I'm so ready to see that trailer.
It's real hype. And then they go into the whole behind the scenes thing. I think I've mentioned it once before. I'm kind of a Cobra Kai head the last couple of years. I got into the show and just binged the hell out of it. And they've dropped, like a season pretty much the last couple of years, pretty much a season a year. And Zolo, I don't know how to say his name, but the actor for Miguel in Cobra Kai, who's the pupil of Johnny, and was pretty much a rival to the whole Miyagi dojo and all that stuff back in Cobra Kai. He is the actor for BlueBeetle, and he's really good. And what makes it even better is since Cobra Kai is kind of the same like fitness regiment, like you kind of have to stay on top. It works really well because he can be backflipping and shit and doing all the shit he needs to do for BlueBeetle. And I'm not sure too much of the lore of BlueBeetle, and I'm actually really want to know more because I was seeing in the comments a lot of people really only know him from Young Justice.
Yeah.
And another cool thing that they did at the end of the trailer is they actually pushed the comics at the end. There was a little snippet at the end where they were like, you can go to your local comic store and read these, the beginning of how it, like, the story began and everything.
So awesome.
See, right?
That's so awesome.
I was surprised because I was sitting there like, oh my God, they're actually, DC's going back to the root. Like, they're not just doing what Marvel's doing.
Now DC is going to start another swing back.
They're seeing their chance, and I'm like, you gotta take this chance.
Yeah. Just put out better shit. Don't fucking keep putting fucking Flash in our face. Take that away. End that. But give us more shit like BlueBeetle. Give us new, just...
Yeah, BlueBeetle's the start, pretty much, of the whole new...
You can bring Booster in with him and be like,
Booster
I love Ted, bro. So I'm going to
that.
show you how to be like Ted, but your version like he is in the comics.
Yeah.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah, I was seeing some things about that, too, where it's like, they could bring in Booster Gold. They could bring in Cord later, too.
Yeah.
They could still do it.
Exactly.
So, like, I would see, there's a lot of hope for that movie. And James Gunn, after Canon Henry Cavill and shit, like, he has a lot to, build back up. And Flash worried me, but I think that's going to be, like, the only, like, shaky step here where it's like, okay, we have to do Flash. Cause
I feel like that was a cleanup movie.
Yeah, and they kind of already dumped a bunch of money into
That's what I mean. It's like they already had a lot riding on it, so it was just get it out there pretty much.
I don't even know how like tax returns work for movie film like corporations like that. Like, but I feel like after you dump like hundreds of millions of dollars in it, it's like you kind of shouldn't get a tax return on that. Yeah. Like I think with like Batwoman or whatever, or Batwoman, I forget which one it was, but that movie that they dumped like 100 mil or something and got a tax return. I think it was just over 100 mil, and so I'm like, I think that's pretty much like the limit. I don't think you're dropping like 200 mil and getting a tax return back, but I could be wrong. I don't think anyone really knows how that works, and it'd be cool to see someone tell us, but I think BlueBeetle's going to be a really good movie.
I feel like that's going to be a good new lifeblood for DC.
I think it's going to be a good new start after The Rock kind of came in and was like, man, my popular ego didn't do enough for. He kind of, I'm just with that whole clip. I feel like The Rock kind of came in and like he saw the numbers for what Black Adam did and then got salty immediately. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, it's y'all's fault."
Yeah,
I kind of feel like that's what The Rock was trying to say without saying it, but it is what it is. We had the Dungeons and Dragons movie drop where like. I honestly have seen some mixed reviews on it. I really think it's kind of one of those movies where it's just one of those fun movies you just do real quick and you're just in and you're out. And I don't know if they're going to do sequels or anything, but if they do, I feel like they're going to have to do more work into it, if that makes sense. I haven't seen too much about it, but I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, if anyone's seen it or anyone wants to let us know in the comments how the Dungeons and Dragons movie is, I haven't really been into that type of game. I played it, I think, one time, so I'm just
I've always
interested.
wanted to, but like, how can you just start that? What, you need a fucking crew.
I was
to
gonna say
start
you
it.
kind of need someone experienced to like
Exactly.
play with you
Yeah.
to like show you how it's
dungeon
like,
master?
properly done. Yeah, the dungeon master kind of needs to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Or she needs to know what she's doing.
Yeah.
But either way, it's sort of like you can't just have a bunch of new people be like, hey, let's play Dungeons and Dragons and then try and fumble through it. I just feel like that's not the best experience, but I could be wrong. If anyone, anyone in the comments wants to let me know how the Dungeon and Dragon process goes with the movie as well, or if how the game is, and if it's that hard for beginners, I feel like a lot of people would be interested in
The
knowing
lore
that.
of it is just cool. Like the background of the creatures,
Yeah.
myths behind it is just really awesome to begin with.
Yeah, honestly, it always reminded me of like Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Exactly.
I've always been a Lord of the Rings head. Like,
Yep.
I loved everything about that.
Yep.
Like even when people were shitting on The Hobbit and stuff, I was like, I think these are pretty good. I don't.
I'm right there with
I
you,
don't
bro.
really know.
I can say that confidently about The Hobbit, but I ain't gonna say that about any of the Star Wars.
My heart. You're right, though. You're right. That was just that slick jab under the table real quick.
I've always been a Lord of the Rings fan over Star Wars.
Yeah, I can't say I've always been. I'm not really. I think I've been the opposite.
I'm sooner to leave a Lord of the Rings on rather than a Star Wars.
I was a big Star Wars fan of the game, man. Like Phantom Menace and all that shit. I grew up with that shit.
Oh, I did too,
And-
with my uncle, and like I still like I liked it, but like Lord of the Rings just had this hook on me. I couldn't.
I understand that. The only thing is, like, I was a reader back in the day, so like I couldn't. With Lord of the Rings, it was more of like I couldn't really get into the story as much until I read the books. Like, I was one of those things like I needed to read the books for, because then once I read the books, I knew like because they couldn't do everything in the movies.
Oh God.
So like because the books were fucking ginormous. So it was nice to see all the in betweens and like all the background and all the filler information. Because then you could go and actually be invested in all these characters. I think that's kind of the problem when you get into something like Lord of the Rings, where the cast is like, you got like 50 characters, you got different storylines.
I get it that it's harder to when you're anybody younger, or
I was
like that,
young
because
kid,
it's just hard to get into because the names and everything like that. But then you got Anakin, pretty easy. Luke, Yoda,
pretty easy.
Boba, like you got
pretty straightforward powers.
Yeah, and like
until you get later.
Lord of the Rings all had to be the same like color scheme, also because you can't work. Yeah. Star Wars always had brighter characters and different variations of colors,
different settings and stuff. Sometimes in the city,
it was easier to follow. I get that.
Yeah, it really was.
For the most part.
It was just simpler to know like the characters. Because like the characters were really just simple. Like Anakin, like Tatooine, his mother's a slave. He's a slave. He's trying to get free. Like then Obi-Wan pulls up. He's like, "Oh shit, you can be a Jedi." Like it's real straightforward. While Lord of the Rings, like you're kind of jumping around. Like at first,
because they didn't start how it should have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say you start with
in the middle of the
Frodo,
story.
and then you have to go back to Bilbo, and so then it's like. Okay, as a kid, I didn't even know that.
Me
so
either.
You're sitting there like, wait, what do you mean? Like,
The Hobbit came out, and I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what do you mean? I thought Frodo was like the man. I thought he was the guy. I thought it was Frodo him Baggins. Like, I thought he was the man. Just to realize, like, Bilbo kind of the goat. Like, Bilbo actually is the whole reason Frodo could do his shit. Like, but no one wants to talk about that.
Then you look back at Frodo, and you're like, wow, he's really built bitch.
Yeah,
like,
it kind of ruins Frodo a little bit for me. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe that's just me. But like Frodo, he was the goat when I finally started getting into that shit. And then I started reading the books, and then like I didn't actually read The Hobbit first either. So I read the books like the movies went as well, because I didn't even know like the Hobbit thing existed.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
random, but another movie that's coming out you won't really be associated with, not in a bad way, but like Evil Dead Rise.
Why does that sound familiar?
Evil Dead, because that's the whole premise of where horror movies get Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, right. Okay.
Sam Raimi, that's his first movie before Spider-Man.
Right. That's his whole famous.
So now they're bringing it into the city and putting it in an apartment.
They're doing another one?
Yeah, it's a new one coming out soon.
I actually didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
That's another one. Yeah.
That's like them trying to do another Home Alone, I feel like. But maybe that's just me.
If they're gonna do another Home Alone, they just shouldn't do it with Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song, and just make their kids.
That would be kind of cool. Now I
Wouldn't
think
it?
about it. Fuck. Now you're actually
See?
spitting. You spitting. Fuck. Someone write this down. Take notes. Someone quick record this. Honestly, if they wanted to do, honestly, Brenda Song would be a great addition to the.
That's
Home
what
Alone
I'm saying
series,
too. You know what I mean? And like the genuine like acting, they would just be able just to do because that's their kids.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Even if it wasn't actually their kids.
Yeah,
too. Like,
either just those two. Yeah, exactly.
That'd still be fun. Damn. See, I was saying that like, oh yeah, you couldn't do another Home Alone. And I was sitting here like, well, shit. All right, maybe it makes sense. Makes more sense than I thought. Damn. Huh.
I feel like that would just be one of the things that like one of the like callbacks that people actually would really like about a movie. Making Macaulay the dad.
It's crazy how they pick the wrong movies to like continue and reboot and shit. Like they could pick some good ass movies. Like I don't know, man. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot with Seth Rogen. I'm just sitting here like, why? Just why?
Oh, another one that we skipped over. I think that's a sign. The Super Mario movie.
Right, that's coming out soon. That has a lot of people hyped, and
I'm not one of them.
Honestly, I'm very mixed emotions because it's you always have to have some controversy, I guess, when these things come out. But like the Peach voice actor came out and she for some reason just randomly was like, "I'm my own girl boss now." Well, I was like, I thought you just were before. I'm just confused. I don't understand sometimes what happens when like things are like getting all this hype and then someone feels the need like to say the most weird shit. It always happens, I feel like, but I'm
still just shook about Chris Pratt being Mario.
Yeah, see that too. And honestly, I'm actually kind of hyped for Luigi. I feel like
Me too.
I feel like Charlie Day.
Yeah.
I feel like he actually fits Luigi real well, and I feel like he could do a live action Luigi if he wanted.
Jack Black as Bowser is still
spot on,
quality,
spot on, and he put in
work.
He put in work. I was seeing something too that apparently I could be totally off, so I'm just gonna say allegedly Seth Rogen was offered the part for Bowser. I keep going back to Seth Rogen for some reason, but he's offered the part for Bowser. Apparently, he said like, "Yeah, if I'm gonna do it, like it's just gonna sound like me. Like I'm not really gonna do anything." And so they were like, "Nah."
Yeah, it's not like he can really hide his voice like not most, but some like. Most voice actors, when they get picked, they not throw their voice, but can have variations.
The funny thing about that is that's what Chris Pratt did. Chris Pratt rolled in saying like, "Oh guys, I got a special Mario voice for you guys. Wait, I won't reveal it yet. Wait till you hear it." And he just went in just sounding like Chris Pratt.
That's why I didn't want to watch this in the first place.
That's just what gets me about this whole thing with like if the whole Seth Rogen thing is true, where he's like, "Yeah, I was pretty much just gonna just pull a Chris Pratt." I'm just stunned.
But Chris Pratt has the Chris Pratt dollar bills next to him.
He pretty much I guess can just post his face anywhere, and it's gonna
make money.
So it's gonna work. Speaking of Chris Pratt, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out too.
A lot of the posters I've seen have focused more on Rocket. So I think this is going to be...
He's the man. They finally realized Rocket.
I think they're going to get more of his background. So you'll see
that... he does have a tragic backstory.
Oh my god.
I don't even know if I know all the ins and outs of his backstory, so I'm not the one to explain that, but...
I got a little bit behind me with you.
Just what they've showed with him tearing up like... I got a real family, man. Like that's pretty much what he goes through and shit. And then I forget who he's talking to, but he's like, when you've been experimented like me and shit. You can tell he's a cyborg. You can tell he's been through it.
Yep. Yeah.
What Guardians of the Galaxy are we on? Is this 5, 4?
3rd, bro.
3?
Yeah.
Shit, man. I'm behind. I don't even think
you were fast forwarding.
See, I don't even know which ones was out because I was like, I don't even remember watching the second one, but I feel like I must have watched bits of the second one. But
bro, it was one of those movies. I guarantee you fell asleep, woke up, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm still out cold again."
Yeah, must have been like an HBO Max just random watch or something. I don't know. I guess it must have been a Disney Plus watch, but That's just one of those series that I just it's random for me, so I like to hear other people talk about it because I'm like I don't really know anything about these characters. I always fucked with Rocket because like he's the man. He's just no funny business.
Yeah.
And Drax, I've heard a lot more lore about like the past couple years. Where
Moon Dragon and all that.
Yeah, where he's like built to kill
Thanos. Yeah.
But I don't understand all the ins and outs of how that works out that he's built to kill Thanos. I think that could be a whole thing.
Thanos's pops and grandfather had Drax custom built to throw hands and be bar for bar strong, have the technical ability and all that, but just not the Infinity Gauntlet.
It's just we never really see Drax brawl against Thanos,
nope. And he gets clobbered when he brawls anything else, which. You see Drax in the comics, and he's pretty much just a stone wall. Nothing can take him down.
Okay, so I was gonna say in the comics he's not like that, right? Because like Drax in the movies just getting knocked out.
Like if he's getting put down, it's a serious part in the comic. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit,
if Drax getting put down, we about to get fucked up.
There's a part in one of the comics where he puts his hand through Thanos' chest and takes his heart out.
See, that's why I was like, I really feel like they watered down Drax for the movies because like I don't think they could really write him in without doing that. I guess. Even though that wouldn't have been me, but I've never really understood Drax because like I don't know what the whole blue dragon thing is. I don't know where that comes from, and like I don't know
why they made him just. I mean, you grow to like all the characters after watching them and all that bullshit, but like he's not just a flat 2x4 personality wise in the comics. Like he's a person because he had a family. And then was just brought back by Thanos' grandfather and his father.
So he died, right?
Thanos killed his whole his whole family. Yep.
Okay. And so that's why he's pissed at Thanos.
That's why they were like, "You're gonna have the vendetta, so we're gonna bring you back, soup you up, and send you on your way."
And I've never really seen much of Thanos' other family members, so it is already surprising to me that his grandfather and shit would do that, or even be around to do that.
I forget his brother's name. It's something like.
Yeah, either way, there's a lot with Drax that I feel
he's got a kid.
He could go into. They could have his own movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Drax is like that in depth. I feel like Gamora is like more straightforward because it's like she was orphaned.
Yeah,
and Thanos kind of picked her up.
They also flushed her character out better
through the movies and Infinity War.
Yeah,
and shit.
That's what I mean.
Like really, she got a lot of character progression in Infinity War,
like, which makes sense.
We pretty much didn't know anything about her. Then we went into that. We were like, oh, we know like everything about her.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
And so I feel like Drax is something they really have kind of dropped the ball on for Guardians of the Galaxy.
So I think the next couple Guardians might be about particular characters.
I hope so.
Because this one might be a Rocket theme, because I've seen a lot of promo for Rocket themes. Like, he's writing on a whiteboard about something.
Right. They seem to be
the
going in the
evolution of him from a baby raccoon to him now. Like, all that promo shit.
His character progression, all that.
So I wonder if they're going to do, like, a Groot next. Like, how he's technically King Groot because he's the ruler of his race.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Exactly.
I wonder how many people know that. Huh.
Either that or he becomes it, one of the two. And then you could give us a Drax Guardians where he finds out his daughter's not actually dead. She's a hero called Moondragon.
Oh, right. I do know about Moondragon a bit.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, see, Drax could just have his own movie.
Yeah.
I'm not even going front. But I hope they do. Too. I hope they go into it, at least if not in his own movie, like in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Adam Warlock is going to be in this.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Like I feel like they've been teasing Adam Warlock for years, and I'm just
because in the end he was in the egg.
Oh.
They had to wait for him to be fully regenerated to be sent out there.
Huh. So I wonder if that he's gonna have anything to do with this phase of Marvel either.
He probably will.
So is he gonna pull up on Kang, or do you think that's gonna be like a later thing?
I don't think the only person that can really fight him is Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's what I was gonna say. It only makes sense for Adam Warlock to be up against Thanos, which is why it was weird that he didn't come around for Infinity War.
Because him and Nebula were one of the two main swings in the comics about how to stop.
Yeah, I remember the original Infinity War, the run with Adam Warlock pretty much running everybody. Like he was pretty much the leader against Thanos.
Yeah,
but
They didn't even bring him in at all.
I guess that means that
why?
if they're still doing Adam Warlock, I guess Thanos might make a comeback.
That's what I mean. Like, what are you gonna do with him? Like, because he's literally just he can never die. He has crazy cosmic power, and obviously they're gonna put a leash on it because it's the Marvel.
Yeah, they'll water him down.
But like, still, what the fuck? Like, who are they gonna fight?
I really don't know. Maybe they'll save him for Null. I don't know.
That's what I was just gonna say to you. Do you think this one's gonna show more about Null?
But I don't even know how they do that because honestly,
because they travel the universe.
True, I guess.
So they might be accidentally beep boop, and then
he
just make a rift and see some slimy shit. See an old decrepit skeleton man and just be like, that thing's gonna fuck us up.
Yeah, Null can travel too, so I guess they'd find themselves in passing and be like, oh, what's up?
He's taking over another universe right now, and he looks over and he's like, oh, that's my next target. Thanks, y'all.
But to be honest, Null will kind of stomp at him, Warlock. So like,
that's what I mean.
I really don't know. Well, hopefully they spin something with the next Guardians of the Galaxy, and really, that's kind of like all the movies for the year. So what I was going to jump into was to go into the little anime stuff for the end of this, and I was going to go into something that was a little more nuanced, and if anyone has any comments about it in the comment section, I would love to hear it. But what we were going to go into was anime things that would be even more useful in real life than they are in the anime. So one of the examples, I'll do a lower example, is a scouter. I know that's seems not as useful when you think about it, like, oh, a scouter? Like, I don't want to have to be reading power levels of people. But when you think about it, the scouter would be a little more in depth than that. The scouter could read people for weapons, caliber of weapon. You could even go into how many weapons.
You could tinker it for health, too.
Health, even for pretty much physical strength.
Yep.
You could literally have the scouter pull up how much this guy could bench, how much he could
Not
do.
Even, like, medically. Like, you could see, like, they could use it in fucking hospitals.
You'd be able to see all his health conditions.
Yep. Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, this man has asthma.
Why you gotta throw asthma out?
We both have asthma, bro. So we both get clapped up. We both get clapped up.
All right.
It's even playing field. If the guy sees we have asthma and he doesn't, we're getting clapped up, I guess. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, man.
All right.
Sorry, man. That's how it
Keep going,
crumbles.
Unless
we got our inhalers, then he might have another thing coming.
You never have yours.
Well, you were quick with that. You quick throw me right under the bus. The bus looped back around. No, bus looped back around.
I had to catch up at some.
He was like, yeah, the bus did a U-turn, homie. But yeah, no, pretty much like the scouter could be used way more than I think people would ever give it credit for. And like even things like, oh, if he's wearing like a bulletproof vest, like, okay, I gotta aim for the head touch. Like, you know, it could go in depth. I feel like soldiers, like literally you'd be running out.
You know, I can aim for the head or just see what his strength is.
I can just see how good the vest.
So
is.
Now we're just making Fallout and Pit Boys.
I guess then you would see like the caliber of his vest too, and then you'd be like, well, I got these, you know, this armor penetration rounds on me. Like maybe I could do, you know, certain shit like that. It would help you strategize. And the only rules or caveat I had to this was if you want to do your own anime boons better in real life type thing, is I was going to do 3 things per anime. So probably in the comments, if you wanted to leave it to like 2 or 3 animes, you know, make it concise and try and pick your top 2 or 3 animes and do 3 of them of each. So for a Dragon Ball, I think the Scouter would probably be one of them just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And obviously the Dragon Balls would probably be a top pick for people. But I don't even know if I'd pick the Dragon Balls.
Me neither.
Just because like I watch GT, like I know
he's gonna get pissed at something.
I know how that shit works. Like I know Shenron's gonna bitch slap me eventually.
Yeah.
So
and you have to speak his language more often than not. And we ain't got a Dende.
I was gonna say I don't have a Dende around or Piccolo's daddy around to help. So I don't even think I
would call him and dap him up then. And just be like, all right, I'm glad I annoyed you. See ya.
This was a good talk. Good talk, man. Do it same time next week. All right. Peace. Close proverbial door.
Yep.
As he goes back into Dragon Balls. But I'd probably pick some like the Nimbus Cloud, what we were talking about before. I'd probably pick something like that because it's like I don't want to pay for an airplane ticket, bro. Like
then everybody would have their own. Who would need a car at that point?
Essentially, like
you could just float at 5 feet in the air and just if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, that should be crazy. And I'm like, damn. Then if it's like winter time and shit, you just go above the clouds and shit, and you're sitting there like, no snow for me. And then you just go to warm weather.
Exactly. I was like, you could just float down there for like 10 minutes, come back if you wanted to warm the fuck up.
Done deal. And I guess the only other thing that I put down on the list was like if we could do. I feel like what's his name back on Namek, the big Elder Guru, is that was his name?
Yeah, Guru.
I put a more of a nuanced one in where I put like hidden potential and stuff, hidden power unleashed type thing, where you could have like an Elder Guru power. At least even if it wasn't even me, I'd have like a homie like have LD have the power. I'd be like, yeah, he can unlock potentials now, just full unlock potentials, like almost like some Sword Z Kai shit, where like Mystic Gohan, with the Kais out there too. Like that could be a crazy power, which I don't know how that works. With like was that awakening better with the Kais than the Guru? Because they were Kais?
Probably.
So they unlocked more hidden potential than the other guy?
Pure state, if anything.
Like it just doesn't really
It doesn't
compute.
make sense now that you're thinking,
it doesn't compute.
Don't do that with Dragon Ball. That's the one thing with Dragon Ball.
I guess it unlocked his potential at that point when he was a kid.
There you go.
But then it's like
it shifts. It probably would just shift with age. If you're old and got your hidden potential unleashed, you can't do the same shit when you were 20.
Would it make it worse to just get your hidden potential unlocked like yearly? Would that just make your hidden potential just like nothing?
It's a 50-50. You might hit the peak and you might not know it yet, and then go downhill after.
Like that's why I just never understood. I guess that's why they only did 2 hidden potential unleashes. Because it's like I feel like you do too many of those, and it's like it probably would hurt you or something. Like I don't even know. But like that, my only thing with that is like I don't know how the hidden potential unleash thing would like. Would you only need it a one and done? Would it be like such a hidden, like pure hidden potential unlock that it would take into account how strong you would get in the years as well, and then still unlock that potential?
If you break it down in real life, it probably would, because it would be your physical potential and whatever else, you know what I mean? So it would be your body.
And then it would take
your body already knows what it's going to grow into.
It would take into account like your aging and like how much muscle you would naturally get.
Yeah, and it's probably just going to go to the peak of what your body can do when it's at its peak.
Right. And then I guess we could say that it wouldn't take into account like if you pushed yourself like past your like some plus ultra stuff, which I guess is what like they're trying to say in Dragon Ball, with like the hidden potential unlocked from the Kais was even better because he had been training like that whole time, and his potential was even higher than the hidden potential unlock had thought his hidden potential would be back with Guru. It gets so complicated. Drinking game and take a shot every time I say potential and you're dead. Don't do it. But
6 feet under buried. God.
So yeah, no, it's just the hidden potential thing is complicated.
Take another.
But I think that would be that'd be a cool last one to put for Dragon Ball. I think that'd be a sleeper one to put in Dragon Ball. I didn't want to do, as a disclaimer, I didn't want to do any like transformations or anything, because a lot of transformations they've been doing more unique to people now.
I was just gonna say specific.
And then Super Saiyan's kind of a little too generic. It'd just be like, okay, just a strength boost. I felt like that.
And a hair color change.
It just isn't as good as you would think in real life, in all honesty. Depending on the multiplier and stuff too for Super Saiyan. Like for humans, like that multiplier wouldn't be too crazy. So I think that really wraps up the Dragon Ball boons. And I was thinking, do you have 3 for Jujutsu Kaisen or something?
One of the easier ones would be One Piece.
One Piece would be easy. One Piece.
Any of the Devil Fruit, having Devil Fruit would be a guaranteed one.
Shit, should we limit it to like 3 like specific devil fruits, or like would we be, because there's like the Zoan, like would we,
it's just fruit at that point, you know what I mean?
True
Because that's like saying, are we gonna pick apples from oranges? No, it's just fruit.
That's true, but there are different tiers of these fruits.
Oh god, yeah, just like there's different tiers, like
because there's the ones that could only like manipulate like things, and then there's ones where like you could only manipulate yourself.
Yep.
And then there's ones where you could do both.
Yep.
So obviously, I feel like you're gonna want the one that does both.
Well, yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like choosing. I wouldn't say like apples and oranges. It's like choosing like for like if you're hungry and you're choosing between like a blueberry and an orange. And you're like, well, I probably want to take that orange.
It would be preference at that point because there's only one fruit and one user at a time. You can't have multiple.
Right.
So whoever gets it.
So I guess we don't. To be fair, though, we'd only make it like mythic like fruits, though, like the stronger ones,
Probably.
Because then it's like I don't think anyone wants. Even though I was gonna say, I was gonna call him Bugsy. What the fuck's his name? Buggy the clown. I feel like I was gonna say his fruit's like weaker, but then I was thinking about it, and it's like, no, his fruit's not really weaker. And they were trying to, I guess, hint towards that, where like Buggy has some super strong shit, and now he's a Yonko.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what really is a weak fruit? Now you think about it.
Exactly. You learn to if you were able to learn to use it, none of them are weak.
I can't really think of a bad fruit that they've shown.
Any of the smile fruit that fucking Kaido makes though with Doflamingo. That's they
well, those are just knockoff.
Exactly.
What was their whole thing with that? Was like it took powers from someone else, or like it fucked them up or something?
Yeah, it either gave you powers that weren't really, like more so genie powers. They weren't great, but they were powers, or you just got that never-ending Joker smile.
Oh, right. Or you just went crazy.
Yes.
Right. I remember that now. And I guess one of the only last ones I had for it was Pokemon. Pokemon would be crazy.
Yeah.
And just to quickly go through that, they barely use Pokemon to the extent that they could be used in the world.
They're letting 12-year-olds run around with murder weapons, pretty much.
They're letting 12-year-olds run around like Michael Vick. Just have dog fights in the street with their Pokemon. I know it sounds crazy, but
you're not technically wrong. You're not wrong.
They're not even sanctioned half the time. Like these shits, they're just in the middle of a forest. Like, hey, yo, I want my Pokemon to fight your Pokemon. They're like, oh, all right. Like, they didn't decide like to the death. Like it could have. These motherfuckers could just decide, oh, your Pokemon's knocked out. I'm gonna just kill him. They never show that in the show because obviously it's a kid's show, but that literally could happen.
Yeah.
And so Pokemon, because like electric Pokemon, obviously power.
Yep.
Free power. Fuck National Grid, bro. I got myself a Pikachu. I got myself a Raichu.
I was just gonna say, my man and me just booling right now.
I got myself a Zapdos. I don't need you. I could power the city.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Like pay me. And then
Squirtle,
you got water, free water, clean water, probably, even though you think about it, it's coming out of the Pokemon's mouth, so how clean really is it?
Pretty clean. Is
it like a dog where it's like he has cleaner mouth than us? But that's another thing where we probably have to do some research. And
technically, if they were real animals, no, it wouldn't, but it's like a frog spitting water at you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't really want to drink that, but I don't know, maybe you'd wash dishes. Firefighters.
The Squirtle Squad, that's what they were.
Plumbing, at least. You could, get some sewage going.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charizard, free heat.
Yeah.
You could make fires, too.
Yep.
Compost shit.
Yep.
And pretty much anything you can really think of with Pokemon,
that's what Muck's for.
Exactly. Like, you could just do... I could get myself a Ditto. Actually, I get myself a Ditto, and I'm set.
You could have anything. You could show them a picture of
set.
Pokemon.
Exactly.
And just be like, do this move.
Hey, yo, do this. I need like a burger real quick. I need some heat. Just turn into this motherfucking Cyndaquil, and we're just gonna.
I'm just gonna roast over your back.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It.
Just and we're fine.
Yeah.
And, like that's probably would be the main thing. Like if I was gonna pick any Pokemon, I'd get myself a Ditto, and I'd be set for life. Like I would be paying for damn near nothing.
I would literally get my favorite Pokemon and not live to regret it, even though it can literally move mountains. Turtwig. My favorite. I love Turtwig, and his whole evolution is perfect.
Adorable.
Exactly,
I do love Turtwig.
Then Torterra, when he hits Earthquake,
that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, that's the only thing. It's like, Torterra, I don't know if I'll be able to bring my Torterra in the house.
He is your house, bro. What you mean? Make a house on his back?
I was
There
gonna
supposed
say-
to be the myth of a turtle carrying the world on its back.
That's a crazy mobile home, bro. That's a crazy mobile home.
There were some in the myths that got so big they thought they were continents.
That's wild. Okay, see, I don't know all the Pokemon lore. Like
That's wild.
So you could probably just make your own country with a Torterra.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he's a turtle. He doesn't care about water. He'll come up, breathe,
Okay.
do
And
his
then
thing.
You're king of your own Torterra country.
Yeah.
You have taxes and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big investment. I see.
Yeah.
Big return.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. No. With Pokemon, I don't think he can go wrong. And so yeah,
Wild Pokemon is the only time that Pokemon would go wrong.
And-
No one on this planet is catching a Darkrai. When Darkrai shows up and just starts Mickey Mouse, no one's catching a Haunter. Any of the ghost types, we're getting folded.
I wasn't gonna bring this up, but this is the last point I was gonna make with the Pokemon thing is there also is the food aspect. There is the aspect of where hunting Pokemon and using Pokemon materials for other things, like, clothes and tools, and
You got a milk tank for leather and milk, and then,
just think of like ghost type Pokemon, like all the crazy science you'd be able to do, like if you'd be able to actually make them like touchable and be able to like harvest their magical ghostly powers.
Yeah.
I know it's dark, but hey,
Yeah.
man, I'm just saying that'd be crazy. Especially if like some Pokemon meet like imbued you with powers and shit.
Yeah.
They could write some crazy shit with Pokemon.
Palkia shows up. Come on. A 12-year-old is just going through, just trying to get to the fucking Elite Four, and he just summons Palkia by accident.
Yeah.
You got Team Rocket you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
any of the teams.
I feel like real life Pokemon might do a little bit more damage than it does in the Pokemon.
But I feel like
universe,
they could
but-
also fix that damage.
But also could do a lot more help
Yeah.
than it does in the Pokemon universe. So it's give or take. So yeah, let us know what else you guys think. What other anime boons you think would be cool to have in real life that'd be even better to have
One Punch,
in real life.
being able to train like him and actually be able to do that.
One Punch, anything you guys can think of. I was thinking maybe a Gundam. Get me a full mech suit.
Ooh.
Just let us know down in the comments.
Bakugan.
If you want to throw Yu-Gi-Oh cards, let us know. But thank you guys for joining us today. I appreciate you listening. I've been Nimbus here with LD Lights as usual.
Have a good one, y'all.
Have a good rest of your week.